Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. Wow. Welcome to We the Process. Welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us to celebrate Jewish Studio Project's 10-year anniversary. Wow. It's incredible to see all of you. And I know so many of you are calling in from all around the entire country. Let us know where you're calling in from in the chat. There you are. Oh, we're so excited to be here with all of you. Welcome. We're so excited that you're here. Another big giant welcome to We the Process. Thank you. Avital is in the chat. From Sarasota, Florida, calling in from Oakland, California. Welcome everyone from all over the place. This is so exciting. Costa Rica, welcome. Wow. From Seattle, incredible. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see all of you. Becca and Ben from Chicago, welcome. From Austin, Texas, from Tucson, from Massachusetts, from New York. We are so excited that you all are here, and another big giant welcome to Jewish Studio Project's 10th anniversary celebration. We're so happy you're here for this milestone moment. I am Daisy Crane. I'm deeply honored and grateful to work for Jewish Studio Project. The JSP team and I are here in Berkeley, calling in from the JSP studio. We are here and with you in this big landmark milestone moment this evening. And if you have any issues with tech, you can message JSP Zoom Tech. Thank you, Rachel Gross, for responding to tech needs tonight, and to Leanie Baker-Gindy, Annie Fortnow, and Avital Krifcher, who are also supporting tech this evening. You are all in good hands. So again, message JSP Zoom Tech if you need tech support. Rabbi Adam Lavitt has provided that information, and Avital has as well in chat. Thank you both. Stay tuned to the chat for exciting links and updates throughout the whole evening. We have a big, wonderful, creativity-packed evening planned for you. So, without any further ado, I'd like to introduce the incredible spiritual leader, writer, and award-winning educator who, alongside Jeff Kazowitz, started Jewish Studio Project out of the trunk of a car here in the Bay Area 10 years ago. I am so thrilled and overjoyed to welcome founding rabbi and president of Jewish Studio Project, Rabbi Adina Allen.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. It's so wonderful to be here with you all for We the Process, Jewish Studio Project's 10th anniversary celebration. Tonight is galvanizing. It's a chance to bring all those who have been a part of this work for many years together with many who are experiencing JSP for the first time tonight, catalyzing this movement for collective creativity. So welcome to those of you who are new to Jewish Studio Project. Maybe you heard about it word of mouth or on social media or from an email or a friend, and you came because it sounded interesting or you were curious. So I want to say on behalf of all of us, welcome. We're so glad that you're here. If this is you, if you're here for the first time at JSP, and if you feel comfortable, drop a hi into chat now and let us know. And everybody, let's welcome them all in. Yay, we're so glad you're with us. And there are so many of you here representing JSP's diverse and far-reaching portfolio of programs, those who are part of the JSP online and in-person communities. We've got leaders and facilitators and alumni of fellowship programs, faculty, partner orgs, funders, participants. So feel free to drop in chat or emoji on your screen if you're one of the thousands of people who've been part of the JSP community in some way. Yay! Hi, everybody. It's so beautiful to see the hearts come up. Thank you truly for forming the heart of this community and for allowing this work to so powerfully move into the world through your heart and your hands. We have a tradition in our virtual programs that we call waving each other in, and it's when all of us, as able, put our screens on gallery view and we wave to each other or emoji if we're off camera, and scroll through the pages of names and faces of all those present. And it's really a way of reminding ourselves that whether we're calling from a watch party or we're snuggled on our couch in our living room, that we're not alone, that we're connected to one another across the miles, through the screen, and through the incredible connective power of creativity. So invite you now, put your screen on gallery view, and let's wave or emoji each other in right now. Yay! Aw, what a beautiful sight. Gorgeous. It's powerful to gather together in all times, but also particularly in times of challenge. And we gather tonight at a time of escalating intensity in the Middle East, a moment like so many moments these days when the world can feel scary or chaotic or uncertain. So a prayer as we begin that all we do here together tonight soften our hearts and strengthen our curiosity and cultivate our compassion and care. And together, may we nurture the seeds of creativity and of radical imagination that can birth new possibilities, bring forth new futures and new worlds. I'm thrilled now to introduce Jeff Kazowitz, incredible co-founder and my spouse, and the CEO of JSP, along with my beloved colleague, Candace Goodwin, JSP Senior Programs Manager, to open us through the power of song as we begin together to create some shared resonance. So feel invited to let the music wash over you, to sing on mute on your screen, to dance, to close your eyes, settle in however it feels good for you. I'll turn it over to you, Jeff and Candace.
I'm gonna let life ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all my laughter. I'm gonna cry all my tears. I'm gonna love the rain as deeply as the sun when it clears. I'm gonna let life move me. I'm gonna let life stir me deep. I'm gonna let life wake me from an ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all my laughter. I'm gonna cry all my tears. I'm gonna love the rain as deeply as the sun when it clears. I'm gonna let life move me. I'm gonna let life stir me deep. I'm gonna let life wake me from an ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all my laughter. I'm gonna cry all my tears. I'm gonna love the rain as deeply as the sun when it clears. I'm gonna let life move me. Yeah. I'm gonna let life stir me deep. I'm gonna let life wake me from an ancient sleep. I'm gonna laugh all my laughter. I'm gonna cry all of my tears. I'm gonna love the rain as deeply as the sun when it clears. I'm gonna let life move me. 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 I'm gonna let life move me.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeff, and here with the amazing Candace. It's been a joy to sing you all in tonight. It's now my pleasure to introduce We the Process co-chair Miriam Brousseau and JSP board chair Dr. Imani Chapman to offer their words of welcome.
In a world that feels increasingly narrow and volatile, it's such a gift to be celebrating an organization that invites us to be expansive and generative. As a musician, as a Torah nerd, as a parent who cares deeply about the kind of Jewish future we're building, I am so grateful to mark this moment for the Jewish Studio Project. Because when we have this beautiful community, the we, and when we have the process, the tools to explore the boundless intersections of Torah and our own inherent creativity, we can practice imagining something better, and we can make it possible.
Tonight, you'll get to peek through inspiring portals, as you already have, that offer a hint of the possibilities we've dreamed up with you over the past 10 years. Thousands of people, including funders, art makers, luminaries, JSP community leaders and learners, donors and visionaries, have contributed to helping us arrive at this season. A few of the big we will share tonight stories, music, inspiration, and of course, we'll get to make art.
And now I get to be your Nicole Kidman, welcoming you to the magic of the movies. We are thrilled to share with you the debut of a brand new video illustrating the power of JSP's unique work.
There's so much going on in the world. It's moving very fast. We're highly distracted.
We're in the unknown, and it's really hard to know how to navigate, how to move, what to do in the unknown.
But when we have the tools and the creative capacities to imagine new possibilities for how we want to live, then we know we're on the right path.
Jewish Studio Project offers a resource, a tool, a practice for meeting the challenges of our world and the challenges of our lives, and for meeting those challenges with creativity, with curiosity, with openness, and with a sense of possibility. So wanted to just do a little art warm-up here, and I thought...
The Jewish Studio Project is about trying to connect the mind and the heart, or to discover that synergy between mind and heart.
What we focus on grows. So if we're focusing on a creative, expressive outlet, then we are rewiring new stories and new brain paths to happen.
We're talking about these separate circles, right? Or are we together, are we one? And there's an incredible rabbinic teaching from the Mishnah, Hafochba v'hafochba de kulaba. Turn it and turn it, for everything is in it. How do we train ourselves to turn it and turn it, whatever it is that we are encountering in the world, and see it from ever new perspectives? Because nothing, including ourselves, are ever just one thing.
This essence of bringing creativity and spirituality together in a variety of Jewish spaces is critical for the world that we're living in today.
I didn't take creativity seriously. I thought that creativity was something for people who had the flexibility and the freedom to be creative.
I didn't have a great deal of intentionality coming into this, but what I found here met an incredible number of needs for me.
People come in maybe feeling tight, feeling tense, feeling disconnected. When they touch in on their creativity, you can really see people's countenance change, and I find that so remarkable.
I felt immediately reconnected, like a real sense of belonging.
One thing about the Jewish studio process is that it is very much about awakening yourself to possibility.
Well, I think that's a perfect lead-in to our tech study, which is going to be...
We start with the tech study, which is intellectual. Then you jump in with all these materials. And then it's kind of amazing to come back to that by doing witness, which is basically to write in response to your piece, discovering what you've done and what it might mean to you. It's a dialogue back and forth between the mind and the heart.
Taking in the landscape of everyone's pieces, I feel my heart soften. We need more of this. The world needs more of this.
Sometimes I would just stop and look at what I had made and notice thoughts, feelings inside of me that were heavier. Learning to be with all of it, is really useful.
And in this creative process, not only are we learning about ourselves and others, it helps us to navigate the world.
It's not just the people. It's like I like myself better there. And that I felt like this was opening up something in me that I didn't expect and that I liked.
I really hope that this work can continue to grow and to thrive so that anybody who is seeking it can find it and can draw on this process as a resource for them.
We work with both Jewish organizations and organizations beyond the Jewish community through our in-person programs, through our digital content, through our online programming.
And online, we had the opportunity of connecting with people across the country, across the world, and developing a much wider web of relationships.
This is an incredible time to support the Jewish Studio Project and enable creativity and spirituality to be accessed by tens of thousands of people across the world.
Looking forward to the second decade of Jewish Studio Project, our vision is to get this powerful resource into the hands of all those that could benefit from it. We're doing this in 3 ways. One is by expanding access to Jewish Studio Project programming and content nationally and globally. Second, by equipping Jewish leaders with creative tools and practices to help their organizations navigate change and challenge. And 3, by creating new JSP hubs across the country.
Work like this, creativity in community, is holy work.
It's an invitation. Come and experience it. As with anything, take a moment to see what comes up. Come as fully authentic, nuanced, complicated self, and enter this moment and see what arrives.
Wow. I've seen the video before, but watching it with all of you here is extremely moving. I want to say a huge thank you to everyone who was part of making this video happen. We hope for those of you who have participated in this work that this video resonated in your heart and felt so true in your bones. And for those of you new to JSP, that you got a sense of what this work is and why it matters in our world today. Having shared about the Jewish studio process, we would like to now offer our profound gratitude and love and blessing to Pat Allen, who also happens to be my mother, whose groundbreaking work in the field of art therapy, developing the open studio process, from which the Jewish studio process comes, is really the heart and the spark and the deep well of wisdom from which JSP grows. Open studio process is a methodology that's used in communities around the world, from Taiwan to Mexico, and has been adapted to particular cultural contexts to meet specific needs and longings and joys and struggles and the ways of being in those places. And the Jewish studio process is within that lineage. And we're so grateful to feel the webs of connection across the globe woven together through this work and through you, Pat. Thank you for trusting us, for guiding this work, for teaching and supporting and loving and mentoring and collaborating with me, the JSP team, our facilitators and educators and beyond, and for being a person who is truly afraid to go to the edges of what you know, to discover, nurture, and befriend what is still forming. So thank you, Pat. Turn it over to you for a moment.
Oh my goodness, you've overwhelmed me. I didn't see the video before, so I'm completely overwhelmed. It's so beautiful, so thrilling. I'm so proud of you, Adina. I'm proud of you and Jeff. I'm proud of the entire JSP ecosystem, and feels just so humbled to see the vitality that is really going forward with this work. So I have nothing but the deepest gratitude and appreciation for being part of something so incredible and so wonderful in the world. So to all of you, so much love, so much love.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Everyone, invite you, put your love for Pat in the chat. The Torah, the Hebrew Bible, begins Bereshit bara Elohim. In the beginning, God, the divine, the animating force of life, created. Creativity, creation, is the first verb of the Torah, and the primary thing that we learn about God is that God is the creative force of the universe. It is this initial act of creativity from which starlings and sequoias and rainbows and rivers and mountains and mud flats and the myriad life forms all come. There is no world, no us, no life without creativity. And Jewish tradition teaches creation was not a one-time event, something that happened long ago, way back then, only enacted by some powerful outside force. No. Creativity is the animating force within each one of us. Creation is the ongoing process of being and becoming, of growth and decay and rebirth, of discovery and development and decomposition, of wending and winding our way and weaving the tapestry of existence that is ever coming into being. At Jewish Studio Project, we wrote a blessing for creativity to affirm and uplift the sacredness of the creative process. So I wanted to make the blessing now and invite you on mute on your screen to join in, to say amen, or to just let the words wash over you. I'll make it in Hebrew and then in English. Baruch atah Adonai, mekor hachayim, shebara otanu betzalmo, umazmin otanu lechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh breshit. Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer otanu yitziratim. Blessed are you, source of life, who creates us in your image and invites us daily to renew the work of creation. Blessed are you who created each and every one of us creative. Amen. Our program tonight will have 3 main sections: creativity and health, creativity and spirituality, and creativity and imagination and social change. Each section will begin with an impact story shared by a JSP facilitator or partner, followed by words from one of our distinguished honorees. And interspersed between sections, there will be thank yous and videos and musical performances and other surprises, and we'll of course conclude with an act of collective art making. I'm thrilled now to introduce our first of 3 sections of the programs, creativity, and health, and to introduce Laura Janowicz to share her impact story.
Hello, I am so happy to be here. This is so moving. I am Laura Janowicz. I am a JSP facilitator from cohort 2, and I'm a clinical psychologist. My experience with JSP has been deeply impactful, both personally and professionally. Today, I'm going to share a little bit about how I've brought the Jewish studio process into my work setting at a community mental health agency in Oakland, California. Our agency is funded by Medicaid, and we specialize in working with children who are involved in the foster care system. We see around 1,200 clients every year. Our clients face tremendous injustices, such as poverty, community violence, sexual exploitation, discrimination, police violence, and more. These experiences necessitate focus on survival that leaves little energy for creation. As is often the case for frontline workers, the clinicians, many of whom are from similar communities to our clients, experience intense vicarious trauma, burnout, and overwhelm in their work. In my 13 years at the agency, staff turnover has been one of the biggest obstacles to providing consistent care. For children who have lost parents, losing a trusted therapist and starting again is quite difficult. When I learned about the Jewish studio process, I immediately saw that making intentional space for creativity might remedy that burnout. I saw how much potential there was to create out of the chaos and void that was so blaring in our work. I've been fortunate to be able to bring this process into our agency in various ways, such as facilitating a regular process group open to all staff, or coming into certain departments to help hold times and change and difficulty. As therapists, so much of the work we do is bearing witness to injustices we can't fix. So much is sitting in the not knowing. The way the Jewish studio process emphasizes the sacredness of the process rather than the outcome parallels the experience of working with children and families in crisis. So often, the moments of being together in flow can be the most healing thing. The process helps us remember that bearing witness to seemingly random dots on a page can manifest into powerful messages and meaning. Similarly, sitting with a child and bearing witness to their experience, while not necessarily being able to fix it, can manifest into powerful truths. The more we get in touch with these truths, the more we are connected to a collective liberation from the injustices of our world. As civil rights leader Fannie Lou Hamer said, "Nobody is free until everybody is free." The aspect of the process being both a leader and a learner, and the importance of valuing beginner's mind, reminds us that these truths are invaluable to us all, no matter the titles we hold, the age we are, or the burdens we carry. The work is something that can be done by us all to manifest change individually and as a collective. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you so much for that window into your extraordinary and deeply impactful work and the story of how the Jewish studio process has been a powerful tool for you. It is truly my honor now to introduce and honor Susan Magsamen. Susan is the Executive Director of the International Arts and Mind Lab at Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine, where she is helping to lead a global movement at the intersection of arts, science, and human flourishing. For decades, she has worked at the forefront of research exploring how creative practice shapes our brains, our bodies, and our capacity to live connected, meaningful lives. Through her groundbreaking book, Your Brain on Art, How the Arts Transform Us, there it is, Susan makes an essential case that arts are not extra, they are essential to our well-being. In her words, when the arts become a regular practice, the way you might improve nutrition, increase exercise, and prioritize sleep, you unleash an innate tool that helps you navigate the peaks and valleys of your inner life. And Susan, you go on to say that the best thing is we don't need to think of ourselves as great or even good at making art to experience the benefits. What moves me most about your work, Susan, is your reminder that when we don't have the words to make sense of the world or what we're feeling and experiencing, we can turn to our imagination and our other ways of knowing for help. When our intellect fails us in moments of grief, uncertainty, awe, or transformation, creativity offers another pathway. We can draw, we can move, sing, shape, build, and tap into these other ways of knowing that we all innately possess. And what makes Susan's leadership especially powerful in this moment is that she does this work through the rigor of science. In a society that so often values only what can be measured and empirically proven, she brings deep research and data to something that has too often been dismissed as a luxury or a nice to have. By grounding creativity in neuroscience and health research, Susan ensures that this essential human capacity is not sidelined, but understood, respected, and elevated as vital. Susan, your scholarship, your leadership, and your deep belief in human creative potential have strengthened this field immeasurably. It is my great privilege to present you with the B'Tselem Elohim, we are all created creative honor. At the beginning of our Torah, we learn that every person is made in the divine image. Tonight, we honor the way you affirm that creativity lives at the core of who we are. All please join me in celebrating Susan Magsamen. And Susan, we are grateful to turn it over to you.
So beautiful. Thank you so much. I am truly honored. I'd like to begin tonight with a heartfelt thank you for your presence, for your openness, for your beauty, and the creative spirit that so lives so vibrantly in this community. Just listening right now has just been such a gift for me. And it's an honor to spend time together with you to talk about what you already know in your bones, that the arts and aesthetics heal and flourish. You know, we know that lived experiences are so important for creative expression and for helping us to navigate uncertainty, to stay grounded, and to remember who we are. My thoughts tonight are simply to offer some scientific framing about things that we already have been thinking about. And I've watched how the wisdom and courage and the resonance in this community is just so strong. But before I do, I'd love to share a short video from my lab that expresses what I think of as the wonder of this work. And I hope that it brings you joy and peace. So maybe we could share the video. I hope that you're breathing a little easier. You know, for a long time, science and art lived in separate worlds, and it wasn't always this way. That separation happened slowly over centuries. And this break has been catastrophic for humanity. But in the last several decades, the emergence of this field that I work in called neuroaesthetics has opened a window into what actually happens in our brains and bodies when we encounter beauty, awe, nature, and the arts. We now have more language to describe these phenomena. And we know that when we create or experience art, our brain's reward systems light up. Our stresses physiology quiets down. Neural networks that don't normally communicate between connect entirely new ways. And in short, creativity creates integration. And integration is the very foundation of health. We now know that nature's sounds improve mood and cognition. We know that listening to music supports coping during crisis. And things like dance movement therapy lowers depression as much as 70%. We also know music therapy reduces depression symptoms, that group singing reduces anxiety, that relaxing music lowers cortisol up to 40%. And things like clay and art therapy improve youth emotional regulation. And thematic art programs improve cognitive function for older adults, and so many other things. But what is happening right now is bigger than the extraordinary studies. There is a global awakening around the arts, and initiatives like the Global Arts Neuro Arts Blueprint, which is a collaboration between my lab and the Aspen Institute, are building bridges between clinical laboratories and lived practices. We are broadcasting a message that is finally reaching the mainstream, that the arts are not a luxury, that they're a biological imperative across continents. We are proving that creative engagement reduces anxiety, supports trauma recovery, and increases longevity. And we're seeing this happen in so many initiatives. Currently, there's a program called the Community NeuroArts Coalitions in the United States that is linking 11 communities in a hyper-local way with schools, colleges and universities, faith-based organizations, cultural institutions, healthcare and community programs. Every community is identifying the needs of their community and using the arts to address whether it's things like mental health or creating aging and urban development programs. We're also seeing all kinds of things happening where there are no longer silos between fields, but where fields are coming together to solve what has been seen as really intractable problems. But here is the most important part of this story that I want to share with you tonight. Science and technology can measure the drop of cortisol. It can map neuronal pathways. But what it will never do is replace the profound spiritual depth embedded in creative practice, the experience of awe, the moment when time dissolves, the sense of belonging to something larger than yourselves. These are the experiences. This is what you are cultivating through the work that you are doing with the Jewish Studio Project. So science will validate what artists already know, but it is the communities like yours that have long practiced what science is only now catching up to. You aren't inventing something new, but what you are doing is remembering something ancient. So when we create together, we are not escaping reality, but we are building capacity to meet it. When we sing, when we paint, when we dance, we are literally reshaping our neural pathways towards connection rather than isolation. And we're rehearsing new futures. So I want to thank you for being stewards of that possibility. And thank you for holding space where beauty is taken seriously, where uncertainty is allowed, and where spirit and science can converge. What you are doing here matters culturally, spiritually, and biologically, because this work is about meaning. It's about how we navigate grief, sustain ourselves under pressure, create beauty alongside heartbreak, and even in the most uncertain moments, practice hope together. So thank you again for inviting me this evening and for honoring me. It's really a great pleasure. Thank you.
Wow, Susan. Thank you so much for being with us tonight to learn to celebrate, to connect, and to grow together with us. Thank you for sharing your brilliant work and expansive heart with us. We bless you with continued success, with many more aha moments, with the validation and satisfaction that comes from more and more people understanding how valuable the arts and creativity are to heal our troubled world. We are grateful to include you in our community, and we walk alongside you through intersecting fields of imagination, belonging, and possibility. Folks, grab a copy of Susan's incredible book, Your Brain on Art, and check out the inaugural NeuroArts Global Summit happening in December in DC. We are so grateful for our 14 We the Process sponsors, who through philanthropic partnerships, strategic planning processes, sabbatical investments, and more, have supported Jewish Studio Project over the years and helped us get to this moment today. We are so deeply grateful for all of you. Now I have an ask. Friends, as you know, this celebration tonight is also the culmination of a 4-month fundraising campaign to raise $500,000 to catalyze the second decade of Jewish Studio Project. This community has been so generous. Almost 500 people have donated to this campaign for a total of $480,000 during this time. Wow. Thank you to all who have given so generously so far. We have 4%, $20,000 left to go to reach our goal, and we want to get all the way there this evening. Tonight, we'll have several opportunities for you to join this campaign or make additional gifts so that we can cross the finish line together. Our hope is that tonight we can raise $10,000 at least during this event. If we can do this, a generous donor has agreed to match our $10,000, and we will meet our goal. Our team will drop the link to our campaign page in the chat now, and we ask that if you are inspired by what you are experiencing tonight, if you have been moved by Jewish Studio Project's work, if you believe in our vision and plan for the future, support us with a meaningful gift and help us expand the reach and impact of this unique and powerful work into our second decade. Thank you so much. And to help move the heart and give a glimpse into what Jewish Studio Project's work has looked like over the years, we'll now take a trip down memory lane with a brief 10-year retrospective photo journey. I hope you enjoy.
Eitz Chaim hi למחזיקים בה בתומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה בתומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם יא לה 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 יא לה 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 יא לה 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 ירושלים היא למחזיקים בה ותומכיה מאושר דרכיה דרכי נועם וכל נתיבותיה שלום השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה חדש ימינו כקדם
pushes you towards some cracked open sky, some starry night, breath that's clean, some mouth half grinning, singing you home, little darling, home in the all of it home, little darling.
Such a moving and powerful montage. Rachel and Mads are woven into the fabric of everything we do here, and we carry that forward with us tonight. And part of how we carry them forward is by gathering together, just as we are doing right now. Hi, everyone. My name is Annie Fortnow, and I am the Boston Regional Director at Jewish Studio Project. It's really good to be here together tonight. I am calling in from Greater Boston. Really, really great to be here with people from all over the country. I'm thrilled to share that tonight, across the country, 20 watch parties are gathered in living rooms and community spaces, bringing this celebration into real, shared physical space. Together, these gatherings span 18 cities and 4 time zones, reminding us that we are bigger than even what we see on the screen. We are so grateful to all of our hosts, and we're excited to say hello to some of them now. Hi to Dan, Susan, and Donna. Calling in from Berkeley, California. Hi, everyone. It's so good to see you, and so glad that you are here with us tonight. Hello to Boulder, a beautiful watch party at Congregation Har Hashem with Leah, Dev, Carly, and many more. Hi, everyone. So good to see you and so glad that you are here with us tonight. Really so good to be together. Hello to Seth and Sarah calling in from Long Beach, California, and all of your beautiful watch party guests. Hello. So glad that you're here tonight. We love that you're here. Hello. Hello to Kohanet Mickey. Hello, calling in from Burbank, California. Hi, everyone. So glad that you're here tonight. So good to see you. Hello, hello. Hi to Elisa and Friends Watch Party. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Calling in from Palo Alto, California. Hi, everyone. So good that you're here tonight. So glad that you're here. Hello. Hello to Leah. Hello, and the Roach Hodesh group. So glad to see you all calling in from the East Bay. Hello, everyone. So glad that you're here tonight. Hi, everyone. Hello to Svi and Miriam's watch party. Hi, everyone. Calling in from Oakland, California today. Love that you're here. Thank you for being here. Thank you all so much. Thank you to our fabulous watch party hosts, and we'll pass it back to Rabbi Adina.
Thank you so much, Annie. Thank you for all that you've built at the JSP studio in Boston. It's been truly incredible to watch this work flourish and the community in Boston deepen and grow under your leadership. And a tremendous thank you to all of our watch party hosts and attendees across the country. It's super joyous to see all of you celebrating and connecting on this special evening. Speaking of Boston, I am thrilled now to introduce our second section of tonight's program, Creativity and Spirituality. This section is about the ways that tapping into our creativity is a way of tapping into that which is both deep within and bigger and beyond us. That force, voice, intuition, wisdom that moves to us and through us into the world, that helps consciousness expand and evolve, that allows us each to touch in on that place that is both timeless and sacred. I can think of no person better to lead off this section than my dear teacher, colleague, and friend, Rabbi Sharon Cohn-Anisfeld, president of Hebrew College in Boston. Rabbi Cohn-Anisfeld headed Hebrew College's rabbinical school when I was a student there more than a decade ago. And during my time as a student, she encouraged and supported me from the very beginning in my experimentation of bringing together the work of my mother with the powerful practice of Beit Midrash, of Jewish textual inquiry. Hebrew College truly was a living laboratory for me, for Rabbi Adam Lavitt, who is now JSP's incredible director of education, and a place that really incubated the early iterations of the Jewish studio process. Rabbi Cohn-Anisfeld then served on faculty for JSP's first Studio Immersive, our flagship in-person program, and was instrumental in forging the JSP Hebrew College partnership, helping to launch a JSP studio on the Hebrew College shared campus in Boston. But beyond that, Sharon, you have been such a dear confidant, mentor, and friend to JSP and to me personally. Your deep, poetic, heart-expanding Torah grounds and flows through our work, and your faith in and support of me and the organization has truly been instrumental. So with gratitude, I turn it over to you now to share a few words.
Can you hear me? Thank you so much, Adina. Wow, I didn't expect to be this choked up. Why did the watch parties choke me up so much? Anyway, and then on top of that, beautiful introduction. So I'm so grateful to be here this evening, to be part of it. And the evening, it not only has sort of in advance given me a chance to reflect on these last 10 wondrous years of JSP under Adina and Jeff's, both of your inspiring leadership, which has been so moving to watch and to witness and to be a part of in in small ways. And I hope I have your permission to kfel. But you've also given me a chance to reflect a little bit on the earliest beginnings of this extraordinary project, sort of the first stirrings of life. Even before that first studio immersive that I was so happy and honored to be part of, and before, Adina, your final capstone project in rabbinical school when the vision for JSP really began to take shape, and all the way back to the experimental sessions you led in our Beit Midrash over the years, and even before that to what I believe was a case you made to the faculty during your very first year of rabbinical school for you and other students to be allowed to do a creative visual project instead of a final paper for your class on Midrash Tanchuma. I was sort of remembering that faculty meeting vividly. Anyway, over the course of your years in our Beit Midrash and beyond those years, you changed our community, you changed me, you changed my family. And of course, in the decades since then, you and Jeff and your amazing growing team have changed really, I think it's not an overstatement to say you've changed the landscape of North American Jewish life. Um, so the proof text that irrepressibly comes to heart and mind when I think of your work is אי אפשר בית מדרש בלא חידוש. It is impossible to have a true Beit Midrash, a place where people are genuinely engaging in Torah, without chidush, without something new, something alive, something creative, something enlivening happening. And that is because any real engagement with Torah entails an encounter between the voices of our ancestors and the real living voices around the tables of the Beit Midrash or around the tables of the studio, the tables and walls of the studio, as the case may be. And each voice around the table is the voice of a real living soul that is unlike any that has existed before since the creation of the world. Thank you for knowing that in your deepest places of knowing. Thank you for awakening that awareness in so many people and in so many parts of the world, the Jewish world and beyond. Thank you for partnering with us at Hebrew College and bringing your first regional hub to Boston. We're so happy and honored to have JSP and the incredible Annie Fortnow on our shared campus. And thank you for your faith and thank you for your friendship. My bracha, my blessing for you, for JSP, is the blessing offered by the people of Israel, by Moshe and the people of Israel upon the completion of the construction of the sacred Mishkan, the sacred tabernacle, the tabernacle in the wilderness. Yehi ratzon shetishre shechina b'masei yedechem. May the divine presence dwell in the works of your hands. Can you hear it?
Wow, thank you so much, Rabbi Sharon, for that powerful and moving reflection and bracha. And thank you to everyone here who has come together for this beautiful and inspiring event. I agree that we have created a sacred space, and this gathering is truly alive, this gathering in community. For those of you I haven't met, my name is Gabe Crane, and I have the honor of serving as the immediate past board chair for Jewish Studio Project. It is truly a privilege to present this year's Eye Asher Eye, God is Process honor to Krista Tippett. Krista is a Peabody Award-winning journalist and the host of On Being, a show that has become a sanctuary for thoughtful, courageous conversation in our public life. For more than 2 decades, she has modeled a different way of engaging the world, one rooted in deep listening, intellectual rigor, spiritual curiosity, and creative agency. At a time when so much discourse feels reactive and fragmented, Krista has insisted on conversation as a transformative practice. Through dialogue with scientists, artists, poets, theologians, and cultural leaders, she has helped millions of people rediscover their own capacity for reflection, growth, and moral imagination. She is a champion of spiritual depth without dogma, innovation without spectacle, and learning that is relational rather than transactional. In so many ways, her work embodies the spirit of Eye Asher Eye, an unfolding, living process of becoming. Because Krista's genius lives in conversation, tonight we're honoring her in the way she honors the world, through dialogue. We are debuting a special podcast-style conversation between Krista and Rabbi Adina that reflects the heart of her work and the spirit of this award. It is my great honor to present the Eye Asher Eye, God is Process honor to Krista Tippett.
Krista, it's so good to be with you. Thank you so much. I just wanted to share as we get started, I'm so incredibly grateful to get to honor you, and just want to share what an influence you and your work have had on me personally and on Jewish Studio Project, and how often I've turned to your voice and your interviewees and your incisive and probing and grounded and inquisitive question asking to help support me in my own question asking, and how often we draw from your interviews for sources in our tech studies. So I just wanted to start by saying thank you.
Oh, thank you. Means a lot.
We are celebrating 10 years of Jewish Studio Project and accessing and activating creativity as a force for spiritual connection and social change. And I'm wondering if you could speak a little bit about how you understand creativity and the power of creativity.
We really came into this century with a need to remake a lot of our institutions, our ways of being with each other. Our technologies have changed everything. And so we have to remake our structures for them to inhabit this world with their heart intact and with accessibility to that. And I started thinking about how we're all kind of called to be social creatives in this time. I would say Jewish Studio Project is spiritual creativity, and it's social creativity too, because I think it's reinvigorating that link between who we are and what is our presence in the world, and wanting that to be more generative, more hospitable, and more vibrant, in fact, with the depths of the tradition that so speak to what the world needs and is longing for. I was recently with my colleague and teacher, John Paul Lederach, who is a peace builder. And he's somebody who for 40 years has been behind the scenes in Northern Ireland, in Colombia, in South Africa, when society's transformatively healed. And he's never the person whose name is famous or who's on stage receiving awards for that. But one of the things he said to me recently, and I haven't stopped thinking about it, feels so relevant to your question and to your mission, really. There's a world to make, there's transformation that's needed, and then, there are things that we're working against or resisting. He said the most intuitive thing in a way is to resist. And of course, we need forms of resistance to all kinds of things. But he said that the danger of that is that when you are in a mode of resistance, you actually shape yourselves around the thing that you're resisting. And he said when he has seen societies transform in healing ways, like when he's seen the world repaired in some way, the people who step forward who make that happen are like social artists. It's the creativity that does that, not at all just the response to what needs to change.
Thank you. That was so beautiful. We talk so much in Jewish Studio Project and in this work about taking it off the page, that the page is really a place to practice being with the unknown, being with what's emerging, being with frustration as something doesn't look the way you want it to, and continuing to stay with it as it changes and transforms into something else. So just echoing what you said about taking it then off the page and into the real matter of our lives, right? And what a blessing it is to get to honor you with the Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh Award. As you know, this is one of the primary names of God in Jewish tradition, and the way in which God self-identifies to Moses at the burning bush when Moses is being tasked to bring the people out from this narrow Mitzrayim, this narrow place, into an open expanse. And Moses says, well, who should I tell them is sending me? And God says, tell them, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh is sending you to them. And I'm always moved by the fact that we might expect God to say this strong force or this warlike God, or even God solid as a rock. But what God says is, tell them, I will be that which I will be is sending you to them. And I'm wondering what that evokes for you and what this particular award or this name of the divine means to you in this moment.
Well, I'll tell you something that I'm not sure I ever wrote down in public, but I started my show Inside Public Radio, and initially it was called Speaking of Faith, which was a title that was kind of invented in the newsroom because there was this idea public radio needs to be able to speak about religion. And in fact, it was a very radical move 25 years ago. But what I started to realize very quickly is that the word faith, it's a word that's very meaningful for some people and very problematic for others. And it's also really Christian. It's not even a Jewish word, right? It's not a Muslim word. It's not a Buddhist word. And so I started to, it was about 7 years before I was able to rename the show. And people were listening nevertheless, but they were having to get over the word faith. And I was like, that's not what a name should do, right? So then we went through this process and I found it, I didn't completely control this process, but this word being just kept rising up. And there was a lot of criticism of it, that it was just so vague. And also, I think a sense, a concern I had for, our very devout religious listeners is that it would sound like we were stepping, that it could sound like we were opening it so wide. But for me, the defining thing about using that language was precisely this, that, everyone doesn't think this when they hear it, but it is also the name of God, right? The name God gives God's self. And whether everybody knows that or not, I think that is true. And it is held in that word, that English word. So it means, everything to me. And I also just at that moment and God saying God's name as something that will continue to show itself or be able for us. I think the other way we can understand that is that our capacity to see and understand what God is will continue to grow, hopefully, if we're growing, but something dynamic, right? And very much alive as we are. So something that we continue to meet and that continues to meet us, even as the world at times becomes unrecognizable. I spent my 20s in Cold War Berlin when it was still divided. And so I lived through a moment where the world changed unimaginably. Just with such drama. And what that did for me, that is with me now, is knowing that, that nothing is final and that there will be a beyond of this. And so I think this matter of being social creatives, social healers, and again, creativity is part of healing. It just is. It's baked into it. We are called to be this even as we can't see exactly what will happen next or what the timeline for all of this is. But it matters that we are creators now and healers now.
Thank you. It's really beautiful. I need that today. You've had the privilege and the honor of talking to so many diverse and amazing thinkers over the years and of getting to sort of curate this community of people. And I'm wondering, from all the folks that you've spoken to, or kind of what feels most live for you now around creativity that you've drawn from different folks or different conversations that you've had?
What came to mind for me was John Lewis, who I don't think would have thought of himself as a creative. But the way he said, you imagine the world, like for him, it was the beloved community, that the beloved community is real. And I feel like that language and that image cuts through all, the best of all of our traditions. And you live as if it is true, which to me is this muscular hope, right? That hope is not a wish. It is a living as if in order to make something real. And, so all of the things we're talking about, all the things you're doing is living as if, right? It is actually making that world that we want to inhabit, that we want our children to inhabit. I guess the other thing that comes to mind is how beauty as a moral value has come through again and again and again. And, not that we have a lot of superficial ways of doing beauty culturally, but again, beauty as and then, learning that in the natural world, beauty is a sign of vitality, right? It's a marker that there's life here and even like a certain kind of safety here or like livability. That's what surfaces for me.
Well, I would love to know, as we move towards closing, like what blessing or hope might you offer the Jewish Studio Project community, this community of people who have drawn on and are looking towards, the future, the next decade and beyond, who see creativity as so central to our own lives and then making the world a better place. What blessing might you offer this community in this moment?
Such a beautiful question. I interviewed Rabbi Ariel Berger a few years ago, and one of the things we talked about was the matter of blessing and what a piece of beauty and intelligence that is from tradition. And I think it was after that conversation with him that at some point I personally fell into this practice of, when I've had a meaningful encounter with someone, whether it was a stranger or someone I love and know, often saying blessings when I leave them. And I've experienced, and I don't think that would have been natural to me earlier in my life, but it does feel natural. I think sometimes it surprises people because it's not that normal, but I often experience that people receive it. There's something about it that they receive it as a real gift, right? It feels big. And I want to encourage you to know yourselves as social creatives and healers, and how absolutely interwoven and mutually reinforcing those things are, and that is precisely what our world needs. And I think it's a hard time because there's so much change and so much uncertainty, which is so difficult for, our bodies experience uncertainty as threat and fear. And there's already enough to be afraid of, like just outright. So I think power of naming that difficulty, it's actually a tool for bringing this reality in our bodies to consciousness so that we are a little bit less captive to our nervous system and the fear response taking over. So it's just another example of this power of naming that intelligence is in the tradition and in the text. I guess, I want to honor that and name that and encourage you to name it and claim it, right, in its beauty and its power, this calling that you are taking up, this form of healing, repairing the world, because that's what this is. And I guess I would just, say, I offer this with my blessings. And I'm so honored to be honored by you.
Thank you, Krista.
I mean, really, it's beautiful for me to think that now I'm part of this thing that you're creating and giving life. So that is a great blessing to me.
Wow. Please join me in thanking Krista and Rabbi Adina for that beautiful conversation. I have my notes, but I just want to say wow for a moment. This is a really amazing event, and it's just so special to see what is coming together here, and to have someone like Krista join us. Krista, we are so grateful for the way you expand the possibilities of public life, for reminding us that how we speak, how we listen, and how we stay in process with one another truly matters. It is a gift to honor you tonight and to receive your blessing. Thank you so much. And now we continue in that spirit of creativity and devotion. It's my joy to introduce Maya and Jordan Lowe. Maya was Jewish Studio Project's very first employee, and she and Jordan previously collaborated with JSP in leading High Holidays together. Tonight, they're offering a song especially for this occasion, Song for the Seeds by Humbird. Please welcome Maya and Jordan.
Oh, Bluebell, do tell, I'm listening, and I mean well. Even monsters, like their flowers, you watch them fall from their towers through the cracks, one seed at a time. I give back. I was never my yarrow. What of tomorrow? Teach me to heal my sorrow.
Wow, thank you, Maya and Jordan. That was absolutely gorgeous. I am going to listen to that on repeat for many days. That was so beautiful. We want to give a special thank you to our We the Process host committee. You all provided major gifts and anchoring support for this campaign from the very beginning so many months ago, and we are deeply grateful for your role as beloved members of our community and for helping make sure that this campaign was a success. Thank you so much, host committee. We would also like to give a very special thank you to our We the Process ambassadors. I have loved being with all of you over the past several weeks. These folks worked so hard to amplify the campaign to networks across the country and world. Altogether, ambassadors raised over $33,000 for Jewish Studio Project. You are integral to JSP's work already, and you have played a tremendous role in launching us into our next decade. Thank you so, so much, ambassadors. And thank you to everyone who has donated tonight. We have raised $4,000 and we have $6,000 to go. We are here at the studio cheering with every donation, and we just want to say how deeply grateful we are for all of your support. Thank you all so much.
A few weeks ago, during the height of the ice surge and incredible violence, I made a trip to Minneapolis to tend to and support dear friends and organizers who were on the ground there and to bear witness to what was happening. I was so grateful to get to spend some time while I was there with my friend and colleague, JSP facilitator Lily Benowitz. And I was so inspired by the ways they spoke about the power of the process and how it has grounded and sustained and supported them and their community. I'm honored to introduce Lily to you all now to share a few thoughts about the power of creativity from the midst of this moment.
Thanks, Adina. Hi, everybody. As Adina said, I'm Lily. I use she and they pronouns, and I'm a Jewish Studio Process facilitator from Cohort 4 and the founder of Sustain Studio. I'm tuning in from Dakota Land in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where, as I'm sure you all know, we've experienced an escalated ICE presence and federal occupation across our state. The federal government has erratically and violently abducted our neighbors and suppressed observers. Our community has consistently shown up to protect each other, and ICE is still very much here and very active, even if as their tactics change. We're still resisting and working to bring our neighbors home, and really thinking about folks as rent is due today. And we're figuring out how to make sure that our neighbors stay in their homes. This moment has asked me to be in the unknown, being in the midst of a changing terrain for weeks and showing up anyway. Not perfect, but present. I think my ability to stay in this ever-changing environment has something to do with doing the Jewish Studio process for a number of years now. Making with materials through this approach has allowed me to practice being with the unknown. Witnessing has shown me how to pause and look at something surprising or different than expected and ask, what do you want me to know? My need for certainty has softened. The process shows me it's okay to change my mind, follow what feels good, and stay in prolonged making and trust that the shape and meaning will come. I believe that this process prepares us to meet our time with the rigorous creativity required to protect each other and to shape a more just world. These are our raw materials. Showing up, bringing supplies, and checking on a friend after they witness something heartbreaking. Bearing witness and meeting our neighbors. We must make from chaos and void, uncertainty, fear, and connection. We partner with creation, digging our hands into the deep color and vibrancy, muck and intensity around us, and open to what comes through. May we practice moving towards uncertainty, building our appetite for what feels alive and what feels good, and maybe tend to our interconnection with these raw materials, trusting that clarity and meaning will come, even if it's weeks later.
Thank you so much, Lily, not only for these powerful words, but for all the ways that you leverage your incredible combination of skills, heart, creativity, facilitation, and connection across multiple communities to sustain and to support the work that is most needed in this time in Minneapolis and beyond. I'm thrilled now to kick off our third section of tonight's program, Creativity and Imagination and Social Change. To start us off, I'll turn it over to my dear friend and colleague, JSP facilitator, Kohenet Kashira Halev Fife, to share her impact story.
Thank you, Rabbi Adina.
I'm Kohenet Kishira Halev Fife, and among Jewish organizations that I get to work with, I'm most proud to be a JSP facilitator. Shout out to CFT3, and to have the privilege of facilitating the monthly series, Creating with the Moon. I came to this work because when I was a child, I loved making art, and in retrospect, it was how I made sense of the world. When I was around 6, I was told that art is great, but it's really for after our work is done. It took almost 4 decades and JSP to help me reclaim the act of making art, and for that, I will always be grateful. I'm proud to be part of the JSP community, both as a participant and as a facilitator, because each time I engage with the process, it feels like a radical act. Just pausing, checking in with myself, allowing the text to go to work on me, and bringing myself to move in creative ways shifts the energy of my day and my experience of the world around me. The very act of bringing the materials to the page does something to my nervous system. It makes me feel more calm. It loosens my mind. It supports me in staying with whatever I feel. The process helps me still to make sense of this ever unfolding world, even and especially when it's hard or it's moving faster than I can. Rather than trying to keep up, the process has taught me to slow down, to ground myself in presence so that I can respond well to the moment just as it is and just as I am. The more often I create, the more often I return to this way of being, strengthening the muscle of imagining what's possible, while also remembering that similar to watercolor, it's a partnered process. In watercolor, it's me and the water, the elements, the color, the divine. Together, we create a more beautiful world as a collaborative project. In short, I can turn my yearning into reality. I can create with the brush, with my words, with my time and effort and resources, but it's not up to me alone. The process reminds me that we must do our part and that it's vital that we also deepen into trust. There is so much work to be done, and we don't have to do it alone. What a responsibility. What a relief. I am thrilled that so many of us are here together celebrating this incredible milestone for JSP. Happy 10th birthday to the Jewish Studio Project. Mazel tov to Adina and Jeff, to Pat, to the JSP team, and to the board. Because of the energy and effort and imagination and love that you put into this work and this community, we are more than ready for the next decade and beyond. And thank you to everyone else here for your contributions, for your practice, for your presence, for being part of this work and this community. May the process hold us as we move forward. May it help us to strengthen our ability to imagine what's possible. May it center us so that we can discern what to create on and off the page. And may it guide us to create a more inclusive, more loving, more connected, and more beautiful world for all of us.
Thank you so much, Kashira, for those beautiful and inspiring words, and really for all of your leadership across JSP programs, including the beloved monthly online program, Creating with the Moon. I am now thrilled to introduce my friend, colleague, and sage, Bayo Akomolafe, someone whose writing and thinking has blasted open new vistas in my own thinking and writing, whose weaving and wending of words roots in your soul and radiates open your heart before your mind has a chance to make sense of what has been said, and that's exactly the point. Bayo Akomolafe, PhD, rooted in Yoruba more than human traditions, is a father, partner, poet, and post-humanist thinker, a celebrated global speaker and teacher. He's a Hubert Humphrey Distinguished Professor of American Studies at Macalester College and founder of the Emergence Network. Bayo, from our book talk together in New York City last year to all the ways in which I daily turn to your prolific body of work to challenge and verify and delight and disturb and open me, thank you for all the ways that you've been a part of the work of Jewish Studio Project. I wanted to share with you that each Shabbat I bring a book to read at synagogue. It's become a spiritual practice for me to read whatever I've chosen while the Torah is being read out loud. And yesterday I was filled up with your poetry and poignancy and honesty. I was moved to laughter and to gasps, and at times to tears of resonance and recognition as I read your new book, Sela, a Bio-Akomolafe reader, which is just out from Aora Press. It was powerful to take in these two sacred texts and to feel them weaving in and out of each other at once in conversation. In Sela, you write, the kinds of creativities we need today are bound up in new alliances, new gestures, new cognitions, new fidelities, new gut bacteria, new infections, new kinds of gastronomic adventures, new shadows, new failures. It is for this reason and so much more that we are thrilled tonight to present you with the Tohu Vavohu, creation from chaos and void honor. Tohu Vavohu is what the Torah describes as the primordial material, the muck and the mess and open expanse, the dark and fertile, fecund aliveness, the petri dish of possibilities to which the divine brings their creativity and from which God shapes the world not once, but again and again and again, through us and through the interpenetrating, interwoven connectedness of all life. Thank you, Bio, for being not only unafraid of the Tohu Vavohu, but for the ways that you teach us to celebrate and honor and play with and learn from this cacophony of creation. I'm so blessed to turn it over now to you.
Thank you, sibling. Thank you, sister. Speaking of fecund aliveness, I am so glad to be here. I greet you all wherever you are. I'm cold. I'm in Massachusetts, and it's snowing outside. So, but I greet you all. Thank you. And happy 10th birthday to JSP. I'm incredibly privileged to receive this beautiful gift of presence, and I thought I'll share a few words with you to just notice this moment and to be with you all in the, I love that phrase, Adina, the fecund aliveness of this moment. As I receive this, I'm reminded that my thinking, and I say my with a healthy dose of humility and maybe a little bit of humiliation, that my thinking has never proceeded without acknowledging its indebtedness to Jewish thought. I grew up Christian. I don't identify as Christian at the moment. But when I speak about the times are urgent, let us slow down, I'm borrowing from my indebtedness to Jewish thought. When I speak Selah and a pause, when I speak with Karen Barad and Bereshit, or when I speak all these things in general, I'm speaking from my anchorage in this world. I want to tell you a story just to seed my gratitude properly. I think a couple of years ago, I started to play with the idea of monsters. And I'm very attracted to two monsters. You might know them. I see someone smiling very widely, so you know the monsters I'm talking about. The Behemoth and Leviathan. I've theorized massively about these monsters. I don't think of monsters as bad things in the atmosphere or in our lands. I think of monsters as the excessiveness of the world, as the world's productions in excess of the familiar, right? It's how the world navigates, complicates, situates, produces, reifies, and reproduces the neurotypical familiar, right? Monsters are in excess of that, right? Monsters remind us of this fecund aliveness of the world. As a father to an autistic child, I'm constantly reminded that I don't have my shit together. That the worlds, the geometries of experience that I depend on are just a tiny sliver of what's possible. So monsters betray the accounts of what is possible, right? So I was theorizing about the behemoth as this settlement recreating machine that takes the activist and takes the counterinsurgent and puts them in the family way. It's my very highfalutin way of saying the way we respond to the troubles of these days is part of the trouble. The way we respond to the problem is part of the problem. The monster of settlement is the behemoth. It claims and it territorializes. And then I started to speak of Leviathan, and I'll tell you how I spoke about it, but I want to tell you this story about how I came to meet the third monster, who's not that popular, Zez, right? There's this brother who introduced me to the studio, Adam Scher. I hope he's here. Adam, thank you so much for everything you've done. You were the inspiration also behind the Sailor book. I have a copy here. Just got it. Thank you, brother, for everything. He said, I have a copy for you, a book that I'd like you to read. And so he brought this book for me. You might know this one, this story. This was in 2024. And he introduced me basically to Zez. Now, that kind of threw a spanner into the entire machinery of my thinking because I was quite fine with Behemoth and Leviathan. I didn't need a third dude messing up my theories. I didn't know what to do or how to think about Zez until I started to think about the metaphors and the stories that are usually deployed to tell the story of this monster of the sky, right? Zez is so huge, the stories tell, that the wings blot out the sky. It's like an eclipse. And one doesn't look at an eclipse. You look away at an eclipse. You don't look directly at it. You never territorialize an eclipse. You meet this monster with reverence. My son taught me the way of looking that I call looking away at. He never returns, being an autistic 8-year-old, he hardly ever returns my gaze with his, right? He's always looking just slightly off mark, right? And something about that is emancipatory. It teaches me that there's much more to the world than clarity. The clarity can actually be a colonial form of precision. The clarity can actually beguile us into the familiar again and again. So I formulated this idea of looking away at, which is a grammatical monstrosity. You're either looking at something or looking away from something, not looking away at. But my son taught me looking away at. Zez introduced me to looking away at, almost chastising my desire to put it in my theory. So these days, when I speak about the behemoth as the settlement that recreates the logic of coloniality, or the Leviathan as the spirit, the serpentine spirit that invites us away from the taxidermy of settlement and invites us into the creative imaginaries of worlds that are still becoming. I'm reminded of the autistic presence of Zez, that if Zez is a monster of anything, it would be it's the monster of a world that has never fully determined itself. Maybe Zez is the Breshit of the monstrous cosmologies. Maybe Zez does not want to be fully identified. Maybe Zez is the Darsheni, conjugate me, explain me. Maybe Zez is the invitation to play, right? To play with worlds, to play with poetics, and to play with poetry. And so those are the words I want to share. I'm not only grateful for my imbrication in this community, I'm baptized by the monstrous. My work is about playing with monsters because I'm tired of the taxonomy and the precision of the colonial. I want to blur the lines. I want to disturb the boundaries. I want to play where there's urgency, and I want to slow down where there's the invitation to hurry up. And this community and its work and its invitation to creativity, its invitation to the monstrous futures beyond us, not monstrous as pathology, but monstrous as you don't know what you're in for, is exactly the promise of this moment. And so I end with the remarks of my people that in order to find your way, you must become lost. In order to find your way, you must become lost. Becoming lost has never been and will never be the vocation of the cartographer or the traveler. Becoming lost is when the way and the traveler stutters. It's when forward movement no longer makes sense. And this is the moment when we need projects like these and communities like these that can stay at the threshold of a world in its striking fecund aliveness and its indeterminacy to blast open new spaces of power with the world. So thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Bio, thank you. I'm moved beyond words. Thank you so much. Thank you for being with us and for accepting this honor. I think this is the perfect lead-in with the power and inspiration of this incredible gathering of souls and this invitation sort of beyond words and beyond knowing to turn now to a brief experience of collective art making. I offer this as a way to let all of what has been shared land in us, as a way to make ourselves hospitable homes in which transformation can take root, as a way to feel the blessing of each other, of all that we've been generating together tonight, and also as a way to offer this blessing out to the world. In the Jewish studio process, we always begin art making with intention. So I'll offer a shared intention for this brief art making process is to bless and be blessed by this gathering and by one another, to let this material settle down and percolate in and take root in us. So now's the time to grab whatever materials you have on hand. You don't need anything fancy. Anything you have on hand will do. This is a practice in abundance. And if you don't have materials, let this be a blessing that emerges on your heart. The invitation is to drop into whatever you're feeling in this moment and let that, if you have materials, come down onto your paper, a word, an image, an inchoate swirl of colors and shapes or lines. Allow this to be a moving meditation with materials as we feel the blessing of this moment and offer that blessing out to each other. So for the next 3 minutes, we're going to share music to create our shared studio space. Feel invited as we do to tilt your camera if you like, and let's invite the creative source ever deeper in. Again, we're creating a word, an image, a swirl, a scribble to bless and be blessed by this evening and by each other. With that intention, we begin.
Over the next moment or so, come to a comfortable or uncomfortable pausing place for now. Just take a moment to notice how you feel in your body, how it felt to create with hundreds of other people from all across the globe to be in parallel process together. And now I want to invite us, for those who would like, to put our screens on gallery view, and for anyone who feels so moved, we can hold our pieces or a material we worked with or the view that we're looking at up to the screen and scroll through the pages to take in the collective creative blessing and movement and energy of this gathering and this community in this moment. Wow. 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 Thank you all so much. What a beautiful scene. I am profoundly moved. May we be blessed to always know the power of our inherent creativity, and may this force of generativity and aliveness help us to soften our hearts and open our minds, to unstick our certainties, and to remind us that we and the world are ever becoming. Amen, amen, amen. As we move to the final pieces of our program, I'm thrilled to introduce my dear friends, former board members, and co-chairs of We the Process, Susan Barron and Seth Linden. I'll turn it over to you, Seth and Susan, now.
Hi, I'm just going to wait for Seth. And there you are. Hi, Seth. Wow, this has really been an extraordinary 2 hours. Thank you for inviting me to co-chair this gala.
Hi, Susan. Let's try that again. Hi, Susan.
Hi.
I figured it would be our swan song after serving together on the JSP board for about 6 years and together collectively bar mitzvah years, 13 years. But wow, this went beyond anything we imagined many months ago when we and Miriam Brousseau, our amazing co-chair, first started planning this gala with the other JSP team.
As co-chairs of the gala, we have so many folks to appreciate and thank. Should we thank Adina and Jeff first or last?
Let's go for that right now. Jeff Kazowitz, CEO and co-founder of JSP, brought all of his business and creative smarts to this endeavor, dreaming big and enthusiastically and devising the plan to get us all to this moment. Thank you, Jeff. And Rabbi Adina Allen, one sec. And Rabbi Adina Allen, president and founding rabbi of JSP, brought her exquisite and profound wisdom, deep resonance, and artful dreaming to each aspect of tonight's program. You both have brought us all together in a celebration that is uniquely JSP.
We also appreciate the beautiful blessings that all of us, the we in We the Process, just created and shared during our art making experience. It caps such a moving and inspiring evening.
Our honorees, Krista Tippett, Susan Magsamen, and Bayo Akomolafe, thank you so much for honoring and teaching us, leading the way in curiosity, inspiration, creativity, and imagination. Thank you to our musicians, Jeff, Candace, Maya, and Jordan, as well as to our JSP facilitators, Laura Janowicz, Lily Benowitz, and Kohenet Kashira Halev Fife.
We also thank Rabbi Sharon Cohn-Anisfeld, a JSP partner who has supported this project since its very earliest days, and to the 27 host committee families, 11 philanthropic partners, 25 ambassadors, 25 watch party hosts, our many donors, community members, JSP facilitators, faculty, fellows, educators, and alumni. Thank you.
And thank you, Bada Bing Productions, for the extraordinary JSP video and slideshow, and to George Rosenthal for your tech support.
Seth, you and I have just stepped off the JSP board. Did you feel some FOMO last January when they met without us?
Yes.
It is such an extraordinary collection of dedicated people who gently hold up and support JSP. I'd like to especially appreciate our past board chairs, Rabbi Becky Silverstein and Gabe Crane, and our current board chair, Dr. Imani Chapman. We so appreciate your oversight and devotion, your partnership that gives life to Jeff and Adina's imaginative and generative spirit. And to the JSP staff, tonight, the gala and campaign really could not have happened without you. Julianne, Rachel, Daisy, Lainey, Candace, Annie, Adam, and Avital. You each wear many hats and pull way beyond your weight to make JSP run every single day. Finally, I want to appreciate Pat Allen, the creative mother of Open Studio Process, and Adina, who continues to be an inspiration and thought partner to all that we do at Jewish Studio Project.
We are so grateful for the support of many institutional funders, including the Jim Joseph Foundation, the Covenant Foundation, Lippman Canfor Foundation for Living Torah, and the Krupp Family Foundation, and many more. And we are so appreciative to our individual donors who give monthly or annually. Finally, I want to make one last ask. As of right now, as Jeff shared, we're about 96% of the way there. We have about $20,000 more to raise. I want to invite all of you. Would you bring JSP to your community? Would you want the spiritual nourishment, this Jewish learning, this art making all in one to share with your neighbors and friends? Let more people know and experience this incredible opportunity. I invite you to think of a number you'd like to give. Now multiply that number by 10 and give somewhere in between. So please join this movement to build creative capacity within the Jewish community. We need this now more than ever. And now back to Julianne Schwartz, JSP Managing Director, who will share ways to stay connected with JSP moving forward.
Oh, thank you, Seth and Susan. And I'm just like blown away by this incredible show of community tonight and all the hard work that it took to get JSP to this moment. So thank you everybody who's in the studio and everybody online for bringing your full spirit tonight and to everything that we're doing. So thank you. And I want to invite each and every one of you to stay connected. We offer regularly scheduled virtual and in-person sessions, which you can find on our website. And right now, I just want to take a quick moment to share 3 amazing upcoming opportunities for deeper learning with JSP. So you can join us for our next Studio Immersive, expand your personal and professional toolbox with new sacred and creative practices for yourself and your community in a studio deep dive into the Jewish studio process. And this is actually the program that got me into JSP. I went to my Studio Immersive, the very first one, 8 years ago, and applications are now live for our Summer Immersive at our Boston studio, and there's a save the date for our October Immersive at our Bay Area studio, where I am right now. This application is open to anyone looking to deepen with this work, and immersive alumni like me, drop an emoji in the chat, say hey. And our 4th cohort of Educator Studio applications will be live in May. This 8-month program kicks off with an in-person retreat and then moves bi-weekly virtually and connects and supports educators across the ecosystem. So if you know a Jewish educator looking to renew their creative vitality and gain tools and pedagogies to enhance their teaching, help us spread the word. And I know there's a lot of Ed Studio fellows. I saw you in the chat, so hi, and feel free to drop a hello in the chat. I'll see it after I'm done talking. And finally, we're thrilled to launch our 2nd cohort of our newest initiative, Creativity Circles, with a short virtual training. Creativity Circles empower lay leaders to bring the Jewish studio process into their living rooms and around their kitchen tables by hosting monthly process circles in their homes. So we have had incredible success with this first year, and we hope you'll consider applying this summer to join us next year. This has been We the Process. I can't believe we've made it to the end. Thank you again for an incredibly powerful and momentous evening celebrating 10 years of Jewish Studio Project. Here is to the next decade and beyond, and I will give it back to the amazing Candace and Jeff to close us with song. Good night.
Kosi Rivaya, 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 Kosi Rivaya. We give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. We give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. We give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. We give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. Kosi, Kosi, Rivaya, Kosi, Kosi, Rivaya, Kosi, Kosi, Rivaya, Kosi, Kosi, Rivaya. Give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. We give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. We give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. We give thanks for the unknown blessings already on their way. Kosi, Kosi, Rivaya, Kosi, Kosi, Rivaya, Kosi, Rivaya, Kosi, Rivaya. I'm sending you all of my love, you with a heart to feel it, feel it. You in the light and dark, with the eyes to see it, see it. Love, go ahead, love, stand beside us. Love is within each heart to guide us. And I thank the sun for shining that light.